They did all that thing that they could also, you know, like there were a lot of shoe mills and things.
Right.
And, I can't be 100% sure of that, but they had a good sense of dexterity about them, and eventually they just settled down. And one of the descendants was talking to me and said, well, what they did is, here I am moving my chair around, I'm not supposed to, but he said to me, what they did is they forgot being about an Indian. They didn't say it to anybody. They sat in the house with their kids and their family. They did their work, and they kept a low profile, and they didn't tell anybody they were an Indian. And that's how they adjusted.
And assimilated.
Yeah, assimilated into society. So it's a rather sad story, not a good ending. But however, there still are some descendants in the area, and which is nice to know. And that not all of them perished. You had, I could just say, other than with the Nipmucks, there was probably at least 150, after the 1700, I calculated maybe about 150 to 200 Nipmucks left in the area. Greater than that left for the Pinnacooks. The Quaboags, the bulk of, this is a rather sad story, but when the, at the end of the King Philip's War, we're going to end this?
We're gonna hear at the end of quickly the
Okay, at the end of the Quaboag War, the Indians went up to Mount Wachusett and met with some Nashaways and some others and attempted to negotiate some kind of an end to it. And they had some kind of a little game where they were all going to empty their guns together. And the Indians shot their guns up and emptied them, and the English didn't. And they captured them, and they took the 4 leaders, hung them in Boston Common, one of which was stuck, the head was cut off, put on a stake or a spoke or something like that, and maybe the other 3. And the other 200 were sold into slavery in the Barbados. Yep. The rest of the Quaboags from up in our area, the ones that were still up here, eventually went up to Shattuck and Missisquoi up in Vermont, and eventually went to St. Francis.
Well, Mr. Duffy, it's very good. The colonial history here is overlooked and probably shouldn't be, because this is where we live, this is our history. And I want to thank you very much for coming here.
Oh, pleasure.
Don't forget, if you want, it's on Amazon, The Quaboag and Nipmuck Indians by Donald Duffy. Thank you.